Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul of Frank Talk with Paul, and today we are diving into a topic that might shake up some traditional belief, but it needs to be said. So stop raising obedient children, raise thinking children. I know it's going to raise a lot of doubts. Now, before you scroll away and get defensive, hear me out. Yes, obedience has its place, especially in terms of safety, discipline, and respect, which we all teach. But if all we teach our children is how to follow others, how to do as they are told, and how to never question authority, we are not raising strong, independent thinkers. We are raising people who will grow and be lacking in confidence in their voice, easily manipulated by others, unable to stand for their right or what is right, and afraid to think for themselves. You're not going to be there tomorrow. Your children will become the man of their own or the woman of their own. They need confidence. And in today's complex world, that is dangerous. So in this video, I will be exploring why blind obedience is outdated and harmful, what thinking children look like, how to raise children who are respectful and independent, and how to balance cultural values with modern parenting. It's going to be a very good run with me if you stick to the end. Let's get into it. And I'm hoping by the end of this video, you'll be happy you stay all through. And I'm enjoying to stay all through because it's going to be a very interesting moment of discussion around parenting. Let's define the word obedience. Because that word obedience, because I mentioned it, a lot of us are already taken away. To be obedient means doing what you are told without question, without delay, and without resistance. Meaning you are not resisting anything, whatever you are told, you do it. It sounds ideal, right? But ask yourself, ideal for who? Often, obedience makes life easier for adults, not necessarily better for children. We're talking about child training here. In many cultures, especially in Africa and Asia, obedience is equated with good manners, good parenting, and good values. But you're here in the Western world. And in the Western world, especially in older generation, obedience was often demanded to maintain order and control. That is what it used to be. But here is the truth. Obedience without understanding is submission. And submission without choice is not respect. It is fear. Because you submit in fear. You don't understand what you are submitting to. You submit in fear because there are consequences if you say no. We need to stop raising children who are easy to control. Who start raising children who know how to think, reason, and decide for themselves, because you are teaching them the life skill. They are going to move into the world, be faced with real life situation where they will have no. The danger of raising children only as obedient children. Let's look at some real consequences of raising children who are obedient, obey without saying anything. They may follow dangerous instruction if a child has been conditioned to obey every adult. They are at the risk of abuse or manipulation. They won't know how to say no when someone crosses the boundary. Your child must be able to understand when to say no and not just to take everything. They may lack critical thinking skill in school, in friendship, and later in life. They won't know how to solve problems creatively or ask important questions when they need a rise. You're not going to be there with them all the time. They may suppress their emotion. Obedience often teaches children that expressing disagreement is equal to disrespect. So they bottle it up until they explode or break inside. You don't need that for your child. They may struggle with peer pressure because they were taught to just do what you are told. They may also follow friends blindly. That's the danger in it. And in adulthood, they may enter toxic relationship, be afraid to say no to a boss, or fail to advocate for themselves. You are not going to be there tomorrow when they are adult. You allow them to live their life. So you need to teach them what it means to think for themselves right now. So again, I ask, are you raising children for our comfort today or for their strength tomorrow? That question should direct your path, to give you the direction which we are going now. Why parents demand obedience? So many parents demand obedience from their children for so many reasons. But let's be honest. Why do we push for obedience? Because we are tired. We want peace. We were raised that way. or we believe obedience is equal respect. But that is not true. If you are afraid, the reaction and the kicking of a child that you are training, then you are not going to do your best for them, especially in Africa and nation homes, where elders are highly revered. Questioning adult is seen as disrespect, but that is not helping. But here is the key, and the key distinction. Respect doesn't mean silence. Obedience doesn't mean agreement. When you obey, it doesn't mean you have agreed. And questioning doesn't mean rebellion. When the child questions you, doesn't mean the child is rebellious. You want to know. We can teach children how to express themselves respectively while still thinking independently. In today's world, we must do this. Give them an environment, create an environment where they'll be able to express themselves healthily without bottling up things, so that when you're not there tomorrow, they can stand for themselves, because that's the key. Not to raise wild, rebellious, disrespectful kids. No, that's not what is intended. We are aiming to raise children who are emotionally intelligent, who are confident but kind, who are respectful but not awful, who are not fearful. They are respectful, they're not fearful, who are curious but grounded, who are strong enough to say no but wise enough to listen. They are wise, they can listen. All this is taught them by you. You are the one that will teach them. These are the children who will speak up when something is wrong, who will ask meaningful questions, who will think before they act, who will challenge injustice and build healthier relationship. If you don't do all of this for them and create that environment for them where they are under your tutelage now, you create a fearful child who will not do nothing tomorrow. That is the world, because the world needs them right now. That is what the world needs. We can't do less. We are training who will take over from us tomorrow. And what does thinking child looks like? When they say the child is thinking, create an environment for a child to think and let him be a thinking child, what does it look like? A thinking child asks questions like, why do we do this? Or can we try it another way? Expresses disagreement politely, not rudely. Think through consequences before making decisions. Problem solve creatively. They solve problem creatively. They allow you to see what it means. Feel comfortable having a voice, even around adults. When the adults are there, they are very comfortable. They have that voice. If you kill that today, there will be dummies tomorrow. And they may be frustrated sometime. They may challenge you sometime, but they are not being bad. They are becoming themselves. And that is a beautiful thing. You must look deeply into it, because that's important. The child must be given their understanding. They must be given an environment where they grow. You grow them up to understand that they have a say. Otherwise, you're messing things up. I'm going to give you some points on way of raising thinking children without losing the value of respect and structure. You feel that is difficult. You can encourage them to come up and ask questions. Encourage questions. When your child says why, don't say because I said so. That's not the best way to do that. Instead, try to make them understand the reason why you say that. That's a good question. You can say that's a good question. Here is why. What do you think? Let's think it through together. The child will understand that, whoa, I don't have a child, but it's giving me my position. It's giving me my own place here. You are modeling curiosity and dialogue, which is key for child growth. Let them make small decisions. Don't take decisions for them, no matter how small they are. Let them make some decisions so that the consequence will come out. They will see it. You guide them through. Give them age-appropriate choices for their own age. Would you like to do homework before dinner or after? Do you want to save or spend your allowances? You give them allowances. Maybe you are teaching them financial literacy. This builds confidence and decision-making skill in them. You are creating that with them. Let them experience consequences. Let them do certain things, take decisions, and let the consequence come for them. But guide them. Don't rescue your child from every poor decisions. When they take decisions, let the consequence come. Guide them through and let them endure it. If they forget their lunch, they will be hungry once and remember next time. That is the natural consequence. The natural consequence will teach them better than lectures even can. Teach them how to disagree respectively. Don't disagree with anything. If you make a child not to disagree with anything, then you are killing that child. Tell them it is okay to have a different opinion. Just say it kindly. Just make it kindly. You can disagree anywhere, but do it kindly. Don't be rude with it. Model this yourself. Let them hear you say things like that. I will see your point, but here is my own perspective, and I think this is better. Let them hear you say that. Avoid over-punishing. Don't punish them too much. Discipline is not control. It is guidance. If your child challenges you, don't automatically shut them down. Because it's possible. They can challenge you. And that is the building of their consequence. Pause. Ask questions. Try to understand the need underneath that behavior you are seeing in that child. Because when you shut them down, you're causing a whole lot of problem. Expose them to diverse ideas so that they can make their choices. You are teaching them through skills. Let your child read books, watch content, and engage in conversation that challenge their thinking so that they can think. Let them put their brain to work. Help them to navigate through the world and not hide them out. Because you are training them, you're going to lead them to face the world themselves. Affirm their voice. Say things like, I love how you thought that through. When they think something, I love how you thought that through. This was a creative idea. You made a great point. I don't think of it that way, but that's good. This shows them that you are giving them their voices. It shows them that you are helping them through. You are giving them some level of control. It helps the child. It builds them up. That is very important. Now let's talk about the culture. In Africa and Asia household, obedience is often tied to family honor. In the Western world, we have seen both extreme too. They do control too much or too much freedom. It goes the other way. So how do we strike the balance? How do we make which one is good? We're in the Western world, we're in Africa. How do we strike the balance? By combining respect and parenting, firm boundaries, empower thinking. You can still be the authority figure without being authoritarian. You can teach respect without demanding some level of silence. You can teach obedience when necessary, but also teach discernment. Be careful about that. This is not a rejection of culture. It is an evolution of wisdom. Things are happening. In the whole Western world today, things are changing. And if you look at it, if you bring some barbaric culture, the way you were brought up, you damage these children, and the kind of competition out there, by the time they are grown and they go out there, they will be dumping, they won't be able to do anything. So let's recap. You don't need to raise a child who always says yes. You heard me well. You need to raise a child who knows when to say no and when to say yes. That's very important. Obedience is easy in the short term. Thinking takes more time, more patience, and more conversation. But it creates stronger adults, the healthier relationships, a braver voices, and a better world tomorrow. Because you're not looking at your child today, you are building them up for tomorrow. And that is why you need to do your best to raise them well. If you find this video helpful, do 3 things. Hit the like button, share it with a parent or caregiver you know, drop a comment. Are you raising an obedience child or thinking one? What's been your biggest lesson so far? Until next time, stay curious, stay calm, and keep raising thinkers, not followers. Because the world doesn't need more obedient robots. It needs leaders, thinkers, peacemakers, and problem solvers. And it all starts at home. And you are also participating in it. Thank you for watching. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.